Hey, hi, this is Tate Olsaker. I'm with Sue Bevan, and Sue works here on Bridge Street, and we were just talking, having an interesting conversation about the beautiful new Bridge Street and all of the new repairs that you see here, which are supposed to, Sue just informed me, the whole problem actually came from the drinking and vomiting and carry-on that happens at the pubs here.
And I think they've missed. I think they've missed the point.
Come in closer,
Big lights up here would do, you know. Also, probably monitoring the kids that are coming out of the pub, because it's mainly young kids, or making sure they're not drunk if they haven't topped up before they go in. And also cleaning the streets. Maybe after a Friday night or a Saturday night. Now, I think they've got a bit better about that. I think they have got someone cleaning them. And if you look along here, if you come along on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, you'll find beer bottles, you'll find vomit, and if you talk to the other people up the street, they will tell you. And normally people urinating in the corners there that are quite dark.
Well, that's no good at all. I did talk to some people on the street, and there's universal snickering, outrage, disgust, unhappiness with the way things were done here on Bridge Street. It's supposed to make it better. $200,000 was spent. This blue stripe cost $400 to make. If you average out all the blue stripes that were made and average it into $28,000 just for the blue stripes.
And they had little glowing beads on them that came from Spain, but they got washed off. You can see them here. They've been washed off in the first rain. So there they are. So they're the Spanish. They're from Spain.
Oh, it's from Spain. And where were the? Do you know where that?
Italy. These came from Italy.
Where are these things?
These ones came from Italy.
This is really good. Let's capture this. So this came from Italy. How does that help the Nelson community when we pay money to Italians to bring things over and then pay the shipping costs?
And we've got plenty of artists who could have done that.
Of course, yeah, that's the main thing.
The benches that they've put in are so low that an elderly person couldn't get into them.
Do you have a minute to walk
I'll walk down. Look,
So
I've got my
the
clothing
benches
with me.
are thin. They're really heavy. They must have cost a fortune to bring them here. I don't know where they're from. They're made in Spain?
I think they're from Italy.
Italy, yeah. And were these bike racks part of the deal as well?
Yes, they're very odd, aren't they? Because you can't just get the bike in. You've got to put it right. I mean, they're visually okay.
Yeah. So we'll complain less about that. But we don't want to know the price of that.
Now, can you imagine an elderly person sitting on this bench?
No.
There's absolutely, to start with, it's cold and gritty. There's no back, and you can't get yourself up. There's no sides. Now, these have just been added. These here have been added because the skateboarders are using them. A fabulous thing for them, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Just go right up and
Yes, right up and down. So they put these cold metal things here so they can't. I don't know how skateboard works. I could go around there. But they're dirty. I mean, they're dirty already. And they just don't
No. So the major complaint from the people at Bridge Street, Sue, what would you say that is about this whole thing?
The major complaint, I think, is that no one's been part of the decision. I mean, they did talk to us to start with, but obviously just went ahead and did what they wanted to do.
With no money staying in, hardly any money staying in other than the people bringing it here and painting.
Yes. Nothing.
And $200,000 gone, and for what? It didn't solve the original problem, and it doesn't make the street look better.
The pubs are still bloody awful. Look at them. They're dark brown. They're black. The strip club's got the windows all painted over. Thank God, probably. But nothing's been done to enhance the street. I don't think. The other thing is that Elmer Lane, they're going to do some work on Elmer Lane next, and I think they quoted $200,000 for that. So I don't know what they're going to do here.
I thought the mayor, thanks for that, Sue, that was
You're
really
welcome.
great. I thought the mayor was being really disingenuous when she was asked a question about the blue stripes, and she says, did we consult the wider public about Nelson on stripes versus dots? No. See, she turned the argument away from why do we have this street with all the money going outside of Nelson and making it not pretty, but actually wasting money on things that nobody wants. And she turns it into, is it a stripes versus polka dots question? I thought that was a little bit disingenuous, and she might have thought it was funny at the time, but actually people here aren't too happy with that sort of a...
I would imagine that the decision to do all this will have been made while Elko was mayor. I think she's inherited it.
Right. Well, then she should have owned up to that.
Yes, I'm sure she's inherited it.
All right, well, fair enough.
But,
anyway.
They did have a meeting which we attended with two of the councillors at the Polytech to talk about the problem initially, and even then I felt that they were just missing the point. And the man they took over, paid to come over from Sydney, had the idea that we could have elderly people playing chess on the street at night to try and dilute that rough element. And he thought Elmer Lane could be used for a bowling alley.
Just right on the lane. Oh, I see.
He also did the toilets, which I think looked quite good.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
It did improve.
Yes, that was one of the successes. But I don't think this is by any means.
Right. Well, thanks very much, Sue.
Thank you very
It's good to
much.
have your feedback there. We'll let this go viral on YouTube, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll stir some discussion here and get some cohesive, feeling among the other shop managers here.
Well, I do know that the lady down the road here, is it still there? She's got a sign outside her shop saying no skateboards and no alcohol. Well, I don't think the problem is people wandering around with alcohol. They're already loaded up before they get here. And there were no skateboards or anything until they put them.
Was the sign put up by her, or was it put up by the
council?
Okay.
But
so
there
the
were
council,
no skateboard
again,
problems before.
the council addressing a problem that doesn't exist in the wrong way. Yeah, okay. So council, listen to us. We know better than you do. And pay your local artists. They'll be cheaper and they'll be better. Is that right, Sue?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. The materials aren't in short supply. We've got concrete in New Zealand. We've got wood in New Zealand. We've got artists in New Zealand. Yeah.
And especially in Nelson, which is an artistic community.
You have to recognize that. Yeah. I thought that also wasn't very good when the current mayor says, well, we can just use the stripes as canvas for the local artists to paint on. No, that's not addressing the problem. Whether the problem came from the previous mayor or from her, she needs to own up to that.
Did, because that's when they were looking at the problem. I can't remember who came over from Australia, but anyway.
Thank you very much, Sue.
You're welcome.